Welcome to Together We Rise.
Starring mother-daughter dynamic duo Alicia Schwartz
and Rochelle Schwartz
in collaboration with MAPS Global Events. Signing off.
Mwah.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening and welcome to
Together We Rise.
And how are you doing
Doing good.
Well, this evening, I should say.
I'm doing fabulous sitting
Yes.
next to you.
Oh, I know that. I am Coach Rochelle.
I am Coach Alicia Schwartz.
And we are so excited to be here this evening.
Yes, we are.
Another fabulous evening in paradise.
Yes.
And isn't it great that the weather's cooler now?
Oh my God, it's such a gift.
It's so fabulous.
We're here in Florida, and thank God we have some cool weather here.
Yes, I'm wearing even a sweater. Ooh, let me tell you.
So wherever you are in the world, we hope that you're safe and happy, and we are so happy to be here with you.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today, Rochelle?
Well,
you want to share a little bit
about let's say, Together We Rise was really birthed from knowing that the times that we're in right now, especially, I just know for inspiration, a lot of times we listen to somebody else's story and we think about, wow, if they can do something like that, I know I can do that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's so inspirational. And we just want to bring some inspiration, some love, some hope.
And how about also some fun? We bring fun to the party.
Yes.
And really just how people can get to the other side of whatever they've gone through.
And we certainly have been there.
Yes, we're continuingly.
Yeah,
continuingly. I don't know if that's a word, but we continue to go and move through life. There's always another thing that you can work through.
And I know for myself, and I know for you, I can speak into that, is that we continue to do our work.
Always.
It just doesn't stop. And it shouldn't, because as you see yourself grow and evolve, it's like, wow, there's more.
I can do more. I can be more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just an exciting time if you really want to look at it like that. The energy.
And it's always been how you see things, right? I mean, you can look at it from the place of, wow, what's the lesson? What can I learn? How can I grow? How can I be a better person? Who do I want to be in my future?
Yeah.
Right.
And when you can get that and really, really feel the essence of what that feels like to have a new future, and step into that, that's the energy. Oh my God, that's where the magic happens.
And not only that, we're all energy, right?
Yeah,
so what energy are you bringing? You can even ask yourself that question. What kind of energy am I bringing into the room today? Like, get in tune to your energy. Am I happy? Am I sad?
Right.
Am I excited, or am I really not excited?
And I heard this today and I really loved it, because so many people don't want to go into the unknown.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fear, like, oh my God, I'd rather stay. They don't verbally say it, but they'd rather stay stuck in that old routine of a story instead of knowing that, wait a minute, there has to be something more. There has to be something better. And when you're a conscious person, you really start to look at that. And so stepping into the unknown. And today I heard, what would it be like to step into the unknown and love it? Just love the unknown.
Because truthfully, we're in the unknown.
Because everybody's so afraid of the unknown.
I know, but the truth is we are in the unknown all the time, because we don't know what's going to be. We think we know,
right?
But we don't know. All we know is what is in front of us, which is right here, right now.
Without
That's all we know. And how we can bring love and light and joy and laughter through people's stories.
Yeah. And the freedom that it gives you when you see that story and you can move into a whole new world of a brand new story. And what do those feelings feel like for you to come into that present moment and step in and love it and just notice the feelings in your body?
Step in,
yeah.
and you can begin right now, right?
Well, I've been doing it. I really have. And you know what's interesting?
What? What's interesting, Rochelle?
What's
Tell us.
interesting is when you're in such a vibration of such high, really, a really high vibration. And for me, I know that veil is very thin. I got to tell you, all of a sudden, everybody parts way from you. And there
new souls enter.
And totally new people
that
come
match
in.
your energy.
Correct.
That just match it.
Right. And it's not right
I
or
really
wrong
like
that
it,
those people leave. It's okay.
I'm looking at our scenery today. It's so perfect because we have a fireplace.
Oh, yeah. Look at
On
that.
this
Since
cold
you would
day.
think it's like freezing. But
it's not
for
freezing,
Florida,
but
for
it's
us,
nice.
It feels delicious.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like an awakening. It's like I'm up.
Up, up, up.
You're going to sing now?
So go ahead.
We have a guest. She's
Yes.
just running a little late, and she's such a phenomenal woman.
She
and
really
I love
is.
her so much. You know how you meet somebody
for the first
and you
time.
know them, even though you don't know them, it just feels so familiar.
Yeah.
And that's what I have. I've experienced that with a few people, but this one lady,
she's amazing.
She is just heart and soul and inspiration and power and empowerment.
She's got a lot of love.
She really, really does. And so, you know, we just want you to sit back and enjoy this
fun,
absolutely
fun ride that we're on.
And it's a journey.
It is.
And so, what are some of the things that you have created since you're doing some more inner work on yourself? What are you noticing? Because you've been basically doing work for 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's at a different level. So what are some of the things that you're learning about yourself more so than before?
Well, I think you get more wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And with more wisdom comes a greater understanding, so that you don't have to do the same things and make the same choices. Your choices are completely up to you. You take full responsibility, and then you change where you want to go. You don't have to stay in the same story. You can change your story over and over again so that you can live an inspired life, right? Yeah. So I think it's always being conscious and aware of where you're at in your, like, what story am I in today about myself? Am I in my highest or am I in my lowest? You know, it's always being aware. Awareness is the key. That's what I find. I'm always aware of my feelings, my emotions, and what story am I in? Am I in a story that I love, or am I in a story that is from the past?
Well, that's,
and then I choose.
Yeah, because consciousness is everything.
Everything.
So I'm just wondering if we should
then everything comes to you. You don't have to work for it.
It does come
divinely.
Yes, absolutely.
Everything is divine. It's like a divine. You feel like you're in a magic dance.
Yep,
that's what it feels like.
So
it really does. It's amazing.
What do you think about us just to do our intro, run our video, and then come back, and hopefully our guest will be here. Nim, you want to run the video, honey?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Wow.
Thanks, Nim.
I love that. And you know what else I
That's
love?
such a beautiful.
The music.
I know, isn't it fun?
It really is.
Good job,
Yeah,
Nim.
Nim, it was just,
That's
I love the
amazing.
music. And you know, just to talk about music, how music can be such a healing process.
It's like a healing to the soul.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It really is. And I know for myself that as a little girl, music was the only thing.
What's behind us? You see the piano?
Oh, look at that. Do you know that I know how to play piano by ear?
Yeah, I can imagine that.
I do, except my mother didn't think that I needed lessons. So
yeah, but you played. Did you play? Like
not really. I was
so you just kind of
yeah. But
Mm.
music has been so healing for me. And when you have no voice as you're growing up,
that was your part of your story.
Yeah. And you go into yourself and you go into this magical world where nobody can touch you and nobody can say anything to you. It's you and the music. And a lot of times the music starts to move you by the words.
And don't you find that music just opens the body like in a way where it just frees you up?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it
it's
does.
amazing how that is.
Well, that's dancing too, because
right,
when
dancing,
you open up your heart and you're moving your body, it does. It absolutely does. I mean, I love music. I love dancing. I excelled in dancing.
I love music.
And
dancing I got into later on.
Yeah.
I like it now.
I've been dancing since I've been in my 20s.
I like contemporary.
Yeah, I know, but that's challenging to go into that.
Yes, but it's all about the feeling and the emotion.
In the movement of the body.
Emotion.
But I think you also, I think that there are people that for some reason, when they get into their body, they become so lost in another world.
So true.
And
and
it's almost like, you know what it's like? It's like so many actors go out on stage and they're just so invigorated
open
and funny, and yet
they're
so shy, and they don't like
they don't like the whole
the attention, right? Right.
It's true.
Not me. I love the spotlight.
I'm
in love with the spotlight.
We know that. I've learned to love being in front. I used to always, it was very safe for me to always be in the back until I started to really do this kind of work. Our mentor and teacher, Debbie Ford, who taught us so much about the shadow.
Yeah.
And really, which, the shadow, if you're not aware, is the things that we really can find the gifts of the dark parts of ourselves, right? The things that, could lift us and move us. When you bring light to it, everything becomes integrated and whole, and you're more authentic. You can use your shadow, or your shadow can use you. Yeah. So we're trained, we're certified for over 24 years, right? Yeah. 24 years, a long time. And we're experts. We're consultants. We help mothers and daughters. We help.
Yeah, we do.
All women that are going through various stages of life. I mean, especially now with everything going on in the world, how would it feel to have someone by your side holding you and supporting you in a way that maybe you never knew that you could be supported? You could give us a call. You can call Rochelle. Give them your number.
954-464-7017.
Or you can call me at 619-723-1759. Find us on Facebook, right? Mother-daughter dynamic duo. Coach Rochelle.
Rochelle Schwartz.
I'm sorry, Rochelle Schwartz. There's so many things that it's like getting it all straight. Oh my God, Rochelle Schwartz. And then the YouTube, right? We have our YouTube, which is Mother, right, Nim? Mother and daughter. Dynamic duo. You'll find us.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel while we're here. Subscribe to it. We'd love for you to be, to see some of the other podcasts that we have done. previous to this.
And not only that, we can offer you a perspective and a perception and a wisdom to look at yourself from a whole new light, and really love who you are in the world and maybe if you're looking to change something in yourself, we're your girls.
Oh, yeah.
We will
And you know
hold
why?
you and love you up.
I think also what helps other people know about us is that we have worked and worked through so many different issues that you will be working through.
Like you said it
'Cause-
earlier, sorry. You
What?
said it
No.
earlier. How many women out there don't have a voice?
Yeah.
Hello? I had a learning disability, so I didn't have my own voice in that way to stand and be, and have confidence. It was only going through some of my layers of healing and transformational work within myself that I was able to find the gifts of that learning disability. And now here I am to support others to see theirs too.
And I think that's a great topic, to speak about, because I think most women, and maybe it's generational, I don't know.
Could be.
I know from where I came from.
Well, you had a learning disability too.
Yeah, but
you
nobody even
you
knew.
weren't tested.
No, nobody even knew. I just felt that I was stupid. And so that really ran my life for God knows how many years. And so I didn't speak. So I listened. And by doing that, I got to see people's body movements, what they were feeling. So I really trained myself because I didn't want anybody to know I was that stupid, so I wouldn't talk.
Yeah, and I think, in saying what you're saying, I think for me, growing up, of course, if you're more ashamed of it, you get embarrassed because you're not like everyone else.
Right.
And then you have to go through all this work to get to the place to find the gifts. And one of the gifts of my, so to speak, stupidness is being resourceful.
Yeah.
And knowing that I have a different brain that's so creative and so intuitive. It's intuitive genius. It's helped me in everything I do. Massage therapist for 24 years. So, everything is perfect in your stew of story about your past and where you want to go moving forward. So here's the good news. Brigitte Brown Jackson, who is our guest, is almost home. So that's good news.
So, in talking about your voice, and it's just so interesting because when you find your voice, or I should say when I found my voice, I didn't shut up. Yeah. It was like I constantly had to talk. And sometimes I felt people would be on the other phone, the other line, on the same.
No, you would be talking to them.
Right.
And then
I would almost feel like, listen, I got to go. And I would think, oh my God, I haven't shut up. It's like I kept on, it was like I had diarrhea of the mouth. I just kept on going and going and going. I had so much catching up to do.
Yeah, and I think because you didn't have the voice, all of a sudden now you could be
exactly.
Like, yes.
And it's so fabulous when I realized I got my voice was when I was in the movie theater and I was watching the movie with Barbara Streisand, Yentl, and I heard her say, Papa, I have a voice now. And that was it. I was gone. I cried so. And from that moment, I got it in my body. It's like I have a voice and I have to share my voice with others. Sure. And that was so important for me.
Yeah.
And, that's where I know people love stories. What were your struggles? How did you get through them? What were some of the things that you did to work through whatever the issues are? And you just come into another, freedom that is incredible. It's like you are free to do whatever you want. And when you don't feel you have a voice, you feel like stuck. And you don't have anything to share with anybody, and so you walk away so sad because of that block of thinking, I don't want them to laugh at me.
Yeah.
They're going to laugh at me. And let me tell you, especially when you get up in front of people, that's the number one biggest fear.
Yeah, most people don't like to speak in front of
Nope.
people. They become fearful.
Yeah.
And they shut down,
Yeah.
and truthfully, I used to be really afraid to talk in front of people.
Totally.
Because of the whole,
Yeah.
I
They'll be
didn't have the confidence.
Yeah. And you're being judged.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, and in fact, truth be told, you're judging yourself. Those people probably are not even judging you.
Absolutely. 100%.
But that's where you have to look and say, wait a minute. I mean, when you have to get to a point in your body where you feel so secure and so good about who you are. And I always feel it's the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Everything makes up who you are. Everything
makes every piece of who you are.
All the trials and tribulations, all the things that you've struggled through.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's why we're here. I mean, this is Earth School.
Yeah, it sure is.
And if you can't find the gifts of the story that you lived, and now living something new to get to the other side, that's what helps people move. Mm-hmm.
And that's
what helps people move.
Truth.
So we are excited. We have our guest.
Read.
This is what
so Miss.
Wait, am I reading this now? No.
When she comes on, yes. We're going to read it when she comes on. Now, let's get this lady on.
Let's get this party started.
Woo, woo, woo.
There she is.
Hopefully you all can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yes. My mic has been acting crazy today. My last
live, one of those days.
live I just did. Had emergency, had to go run out and get my husband's to the pharmacy, and literally there was 9 people in line in front of me. And it's amazing.
Isn't it amazing what you can do? And women are like, they just rock, really rock.
His stuff was ready. That's what made it so doggone crazy. So I'm like, I gotta wait for all these people that, just like, wow. But you know what I was doing while I was in line? I was listening to you all. But what I have to train myself to do, because tonight we're going to talk about empowering mindsets, I had to stop and take a deep breath. And I thought about all of the things that, since I've been knowing the two of you, that you have helped train me to do. Because one of the things about me that we're going to talk about, our superpowers tonight, is that I'm very much, I move fast. I move really fast. And so it's like, okay, I'm sitting there and I'm like literally at the end while you all, when you did the video, I'm literally in line. I had been there for 10 minutes, just waiting for them to come to the window. So I just kept pushing the buzzer. I was like, Brigitte, stop. Slow down. Just woosah. Take this time in. Just take this time in. And I can literally hear you talking to me, Rochelle. We have a lot of those behind the scene conversations. It's like, just chill it and bring it down. Just bring it down. Bring it down. You all were doing an okay job and you were okay. But I was like, but no, my reputation, look, I don't do this kind of stuff. I'm just having a good, I learned some nuggets, at least I love when I was en route back home, when you were talking about just understanding how people were seeing you and some of the limitations. But look what all you all have been able to do. So no limitation can ever stop us.
That's so true.
It's I say it, the learning challenge gave me so many gifts of just seeing myself in the world in such a compassionate, kind way. You don't know what other people are struggling with, and the judging of it. There's no, judgment is just you're judging yourself. So turn it around. You don't need to do that because you probably do a good job on yourself.
You sure do.
So
before we go any further, let's introduce.
Let's do it.
This beautiful woman that I met. And, like I said, when you meet somebody, I know Brigitte, I know that I had her in other lifetimes. I know it. There is such a soul connection of so much empathy and love and support. And when I was going through some really challenges, she said, let's pray. That just, it was something so special to me. And how can I support you? And you want to know something, Bridget? To me, that's worth £1,000,000 of gold. You are that to me.
Yes.
And I just love you. I just love you.
We do.
And we do. I'm sorry. I just have
She's always trying to steal me on to herself. Look,
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I
It's
am.
okay. It's all good.
So before we want you to just introduce and say who you are and what you do, but before that, I picked this inspirational piece, and I want Alicia to read it. It's from
Debbie Ford. It's the Your Holiness book. And the thing that Mom picked for you, it was called Holy Inspiration. And this is what it says. Uncork. This is so funny because we're talking about limitations and how you can work through it to the other side. Uncork the limitless flow of heavenly wisdom. Let the divine influence pour forth, yes, from the depths of my soul. Let me drink the magical ambrosia of God's love as I am inspired to reach new heights. So that's what we picked for you tonight.
Yes. So,
Holy lady,
why don't you let everybody know who you are and what you do?
Love to. So, hey, everybody, my name is Brigitte Brown Jackson. I am a behavior wealth strategist. I love talking all things behavior as I am a certified DISC instructor. And so I love talking to everybody, period, because I want everybody to change. But my clients are professional women who understand their strengths, but they have these itty bitty tiny blind spots that sometimes can stop them and stumble and get in their way. And I show them how to expeditiously and exponentially be better, to grow it so they can diminish it, rather, so that they can be better professionally and personally. So I love tapping in. I tell people about their personality strengths, and from there, oh my, we start doing some transformation.
that's amazing.
And how many?
I can tell too. I'm also a minister, licensed minister. So that's what Rochelle was talking about. When we first met, we met on a I guess it was a training, but also it was some networking to it. And I love to tell Rochelle this because that was over about a year and a half ago. And from those people, you are literally the only person that I have continuously talked to. And I talked to a lot of people, but we just hit it off. And I'm so very, very grateful for that. I did 30 years in education before I decided I was going to launch out into the deep and go full-time into my own business. So I've been a full-time entrepreneur for the past 3 years. And man, it's scary, but I love what I do. Yes.
I hear you. And I know your kids are so important to you, and I happen to love your husband, by the way.
Yes, he's amazing.
He's such a wonderful man. He really, really is.
And so cute too.
Yes, he is.
I'll tell him that. He might need to smile.
Kids?
He's over there in pain right now.
Aww. We're going to send him some love.
Definitely.
How many children do you have?
Well, we have a blended family. So I had 4. And then when I married him, and I was asking, who's going to want me with 4 kids? And he was asking, who's going to want me with 4 kids? Both of us were divorcees. And God said, you all going to want each other. So we have 8 is enough. And we have 12 grandbabies and 3 coming this spring.
Holy
moly.
Are
you kidding? Wow.
Yes. That is a big family.
So the Bible says, blessed is a man whose quiver is full of them. Our quiver is full of them.
So, you know what I just I just thought of this. You were a principal, you were a teacher. Now, you're an entrepreneur. What do you see the differences are, the challenges are as an entrepreneur versus a teacher, a principal?
And how has that helped you too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doing
I was
what
gonna
you
say
do.
the challenges really aren't different. I'm finding myself having a lot of the same challenges, and I think that's the thing that keeps me going is that I've recognized that every single obstacle that I had to overcome and endure in my professional life has really helped me. So it's a twofold, like you just asked, Alicia, that now because of those things that I went through, I'm literally using them in my business. And so, I love to tell people, don't ever fight against the obstacles, because I promise you, those obstacles are going to come down the line in the future as lessons that are going to be gems to get you where you need to go. And so one of the things as an educator, I loved being studying. I just love studying. I'm a natural educator, like seriously. I'm a teacher by heart, a teacher of the word of God. So I just love teaching. I love learning and gleaning. And so that has helped me because I can sit at the feet of people, and I can sit at the people over and over and over again. Like one of my mentors said she attended the same conference 46 times.
Wow.
Wow.
That is a definite student of life.
Wow.
But
Constant.
it worked out because she's traded on Wall Street right now, and she has touched. Oh, I was reading the other day. I can't remember how many. I want to say, I think it said like 40 million people or something like that in her career. It was high up there. It was mega millions all over the world. So that was at the beginning of her entrepreneurship. And so I'm like, yes, look how far she's been able to come because she's always positioned herself as a student. And I love even when she has people that come on her platforms and stuff like that, she does these major events, right? And she will sit and take a notebook, and she's taking notes from people. And so that's the premise that I take too. Whenever I'm somewhere right now, I got my pen and paper out, and I was literally taking notes while you all were talking when I was off screen. And I have my notes right now to take notes from you all because I'm always constantly learning.
That's amazing.
That
and
is.
I always wonder.
I can't do that, but
it's interesting because I know, it's so interesting listening to you, Brigitte, because you are a teacher, you're a principal, and you're using this, and now you're an entrepreneur, and you're using all of that. And then I think of our story, my mom and I, and where we came from, right? And the learning challenge and all that. And it's like, I just don't write things down unless I need to. And it's so interesting.
Me too.
To see the difference, and none of it's right or wrong. It's just how you operate. And that's what's such a great gift in all of us coming together, because we learn and grow from that,
And we're all different and unique. And that's the piece that I love right now, the position that I'm in now as a behavior strategist. One of the things that I'm able to do, I use psychometrics. So what you just said is because our passions are a little bit different. Doesn't make one, like you said, better than the other, but I'm very theoretical. So I'm driven by being theoretical. And I laugh because I look at myself as a kid, and I was like this as a kid. I didn't understand why, and I thought it was more I'm studious. And it's not even about being studious. It's more that I like wisdom. And it doesn't also always have to be even from a book. I can sit and listen to people talk. I go to the mall and just sit and watch people because I love wisdom. And so I'm always, everything is a learning process for me, but that's my motivator. Everybody has a different motivator. So I teach people about 7 different motivators that they have to help them understand like the why behind yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is.
I could see that.
I can too. Yeah.
I remember, it brings up a point. I remember when I learned about learning styles, right?
Yeah.
Your learning style. Are you visual? Are you auditory? Are you a read and write learner? Yeah. And if you know your learning style, you know what kind of job you're going to be great at and what job you're not. So it brings to point with what you're saying in a way about knowing your behaviors and how you can use what you do.
Yeah.
Shift and transform and create a new. Is that correct? Would you say?
Definitely. I'm
So,
sorry.
Miss Bridget,
Mhm.
what
What is
lesson has taken you the longest to learn?
Do you have a
I ain't
couple?
learned it
That's a great answer, by the way. That's a good one.
yet. It is some that I haven't learned yet. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm gonna get off this wheel. You're gonna have to keep teaching me. But go ahead. I'm sorry. You know I love to laugh and have fun.
That's another question.
So, who has been your greatest spiritual teacher?
Um, I've had so many, but I think right now in my entrepreneurship journey, I would say Dr. Miles Monroe, and he actually is deceased.
Mm,
And the crazy thing is, I really did not like search him out or listen to his things and do a lot of that stuff when he was living. But again, during this entrepreneur journey, he has been like somebody my husband and I we listen to all the time because he has so much practical learning that is still out there. You know, he left a legacy, and I think even if I would say what I would like to do when my time, my dash is over, I want to be like him. He
mm,
left so much stuff here, like literally his stuff, YouTube, it can be watched over and over again. There's so many different pieces to it. He has so many different books. He was talking about one day his library, and I'm looking at because my library is over there.
yeah.
He says, if you have more money invested in your closet than you do on your bookshelf, there's an issue with that. And I
That's a
said,
problem. Yeah.
and it might be because again, he's probably his passion was probably like mine, theoretical. And so that is a big thing for people like that. And so I don't tell people that, you know, if they don't like to read, that's okay, but just learn and get that wisdom. So I think he would probably be the person that I would say, even though I've been influenced by so many other people. And I would probably say that my personal person that I actually know probably would be my mother. My mother taught me so much. Even inadvertently, where she wasn't even trying to teach. You know, I just learned so much from her, especially about endurance.
Mm,
And so, was that one of the biggest pieces that you have learned from her?
Oh, definitely. My mother is a prayer warrior. And so I literally learned that. And then my daughter said to me one day, you know, Mom, thank you, you know, for teaching me how to pray and how to do. And then now my grandson, one day, she had lost her father a couple years ago. And my grandson went to go, I called and he answered the phone and he says, my mommy's crying. And he said, she's crying and praying and crying and praying. And so she was just really in her little, she goes to her basement. That's her little secret closet. And so he went down there and then he got off the phone with me and he laid next to her and he began praying too.
Oh,
So, yes,
uh,
we can leave a legacy of a whole lot of stuff. And I think that touched my heart more than anything that my daughter said that because she's replicated a lot of stuff. She's in business. She's an author. You know, she just has so many different similarities. But I think that would be my greatest thing that she says, Mom, thank you for teaching me how to pray.
mm,
and so my question about prayer is when you do pray, is it you ask or do you sit in silence and receive? Or
what's
is it
your
both?
what's
Both.
your ritual?
It is both.
Definitely both. I think a lot of people think that it's a one-way conversation, and that's why a lot of people have issues and things because they don't understand that, you know, God is a it's just we can talk to him. And so a lot of people, matter of fact, I'm glad you just asked this because this is a thing with prayer. Prayer is how you can do it. You know, when I pray, and people will tell me this, and I'm not saying this sound condescending or to sound egocentric or anything like that. I'm good at praying, really, for real.
I
um,
know.
but that doesn't make somebody else's prayer different. You know,
Right.
I've been in ministry for like 30 years. And so there's some exposure that I've had to certain things. And so I had a friend and she was like, well, I don't want to pray. I want you to pray. And I was like, nah, you can too. All it is just talking to God. And so
Yeah.
talk to him like you do a friend. Talk to him.
Yeah. Because I think what you're saying is true. I think people are intimidated in a way. Like, how do I do it?
Yeah.
How do I actually talk? You're like, it's like a friend. Hey, God, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Can you help me out?
Just
I
start
would,
that conversation. Start that conversation and it will trickle and it'll go. But then you do need to sit and listen because he will talk to us. And in fact, if I could just share this story really
Sure,
quick, I
please.
posted this on my Instagram today. This is why it's important for us to slow down and to be able to, because when we get ourselves ready, and so again, I told you about the DISC assessment. And so D's and I's move really fast. S's and C's move a little bit slower. And so I'm a D. I'm sorry, I'm an I. I'm an I. So I move fast. My husband is an S, so he'll move a little bit slower. And so I love he calms me and brings me down at times because like right now, I'm gonna be geek tonight. I just did a live before I did this one. And so I have an upcoming speaking engagement. I have a master class going on. So I got a lot of stuff going on. I had people calling me today about different things. And it was like, oh my God, the answer to some prayers, right? And so I'm on 10 right now.
wow.
But I have to learn how to slow myself down. And
That's probably why you know us.
Yes.
Because we're definitely in the S family or the slow family.
Both of you all are. And I reach out to you all when I need that cool, calm, collected. You know? And so we need to understand and then know how to use one another. But one of the things that happened was back in 1989, I was on welfare. And one day I'm sitting on my $75 sofa. I couldn't afford a whole full living room set. So I bought this sofa from a hotel auction, right? And I'm sitting there, and it was an ugly sofa. I'm sitting there, and I'm on welfare. I have 2 children. I had dropped out of college my 3rd year in because I had my first child. And then 9 months later, I'm pregnant again. And so I quit school and unfortunately I had to get on welfare. And so I'm sitting here saying I need to go get a job. So I go up to the local grocery store. They had open interviews. They tell me to go home. Can I come back tomorrow? I was the last person. So I was like, why he just couldn't spend 5 minutes and go ahead and interview me? Because that's about how long everybody else was. But anyways, he sent me home. Long story short, I'm crying. I'm discouraged. I feel worthless, and everything. And they call me the next day and they say, come in for orientation. And I'm like, what? I didn't even what? I didn't interview. And so I stopped bantering back and forth with the lady. And I was like, take your tail to the orientation. You got a job. Right. And so I get to the orientation and the owner of the company, he had about 12 stores at the time. And he's telling, he's talking about tuition reimbursement. I'm a college dropout. So my ears are, I go home that night and I have a dream. He wheelbarrowed a load of money in front of me. Like literally the wheelbarrow, the money was stacked higher than my height.
Wow.
I'm about 5'7", right? And so it was taller than me. It was a lot of money. And so my mother, again, my wise mother-daughter dynamic duo is important. My mother, I call her and tell her about the dream. I'm telling her about the job. I tell her about the dream. And she said, go talk to him. I'm like, what? Go talk to him. What am I gonna say? You will bear me a whole lot of money? And she said, no, just telling your story. And so I go the next day and I say, you know what? I love the tuition reimbursement, but right now I'm not in school. I had to unfortunately drop out. And he cut me off mid-sentence. And I'm like, how rude. He says, go see my son. The next morning, he set me up an appointment to go see his son. Mind you, I'm only working 24 hours. 24 hours. I had only worked for them. I go to the son the next day. I'm trying to tell him my poor pitiful story. He said, Bridget, we can do this 2 ways. You can do community service in our name and we'll pay it, or we can give you the money and we'll take it out of your check. I did the second because I told him, I want you to know that, I can be trusted and I want to do this on my own. And they took $5, then $10. And finally, I got up to them taking $20 out of my paycheck every week. $5. Come on now, imagine that. But they paid $954 for me to go back to school. I did not know these people. My point that I'm making to everybody is it was because I went home and had a dream. Now I understand. In order for my dreaming process to happen even more frequently, I have to slow down and get quiet and just listen to God. I didn't know all that then. I went home excited and I'm all over the place. And he dropped that dream to me. But so I said all of that to say, yeah, when we get in our quiet place, God can do some amazing things for us. But sometimes we're just moving so fast. And that literally changed my life. After that, I became a teacher. After that, I became a principal. And I did the math one day. And that load of money, literally, it was 7 figures.
Wow.
That they helped me with because they gave me $954.
Wow. It's an amazing story. It kind of leads me to the next question I want to ask you is if you were going to give someone the best advice in life, what would it be?
Oh, the best, like about, especially what I do right now, I would tell them to make sure that you're just authentically yourself. Number one, know yourself. And number two, authentically be yourself. Don't let anybody put you in a basket, to put you in a box, to pigeonhole you in. Like I said, I'm very outgoing. I think I've been outgoing all of my life, but because of some things that happened in my childhood, I kind of reverted a little bit. But once I came out with it, I am a people person. And I had a boss one time tell me he didn't like how I talked. Now, mind you, in 6 months, I moved his school from the 5th percentile when I got there to, in 3 years, we moved that school to the 50th percentile.
Wow.
Like literally, we were on a list that, okay, the school would close. It's a charter school. It was a charter school. The school would close. And when he said that, it kind of bothered me a little bit, but it hasn't, because especially what I do right now, being a behavior strategist, I know the skin I'm in. I know that my superpower is being an interactive type person, and I use my voice for it. My voice activates stuff. And so I would tell people, don't ever let somebody else define you and put you in a box. Be self-aware of your superpower and be authentically who you were meant to be.
But the thing is, that's powerful. But how do people don't they have to do some inner work to get to that place, to know who they are?
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah.
have that
You know what I'm
superpower.
saying?
Oh, yes.
How do they get it? Like,
Yeah.
is the question, really.
Well,
What is some of the things that you...
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. What would be one or two things that they can do so that they could tap into that, superpower? Maybe give the people that are watching maybe 2 things maybe they could do on a daily basis that would charge that superpower, so to speak.
Definitely. You know what I'm going to say. The number one.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Period. Get a coach. That's what the mother-daughter dynamic do. That's what you all do. You help people with their shadow work. You help them get behind the scenes of doing it. There's nothing in the world that's going to move you faster than getting a coach. Even having a mentor still is going to sometimes do a little bit different, unless again you paying them to be your mentor. And then my mentor, I was calling her my mentor, and she was like, no, mentors are for children. And I take that now. I'm like, okay, yep, go get your coaching, right? And so my coach, that's one of the things that she really, really ingrained. And when I start getting a coach and paying for a coach, literally I started up leveling my life. Why? Because I had an investment in it. And so it really made a big difference. So I would definitely tell people that, because I run into women that, like, literally for me, I was running other people's multi-million-dollar organizations, but I still was having limiting thoughts. I still was having different things, and I still do. I'm not going to say that. I just did a live about imposter syndrome about an hour ago. And so those things will still rise up, but what will tend to happen is they will rise up few and far in between when you have some mastery. And so the number one thing that I would tell people is to go get somebody that's going to help you do the work. And then number two, again, do some different things, whatever it is for your personality style. And for me, I'm a people person. So I surround myself with people stories. So over here, I got my vision board, and I got Tyler Perry up there. I got Lisa Nichols, Damon Johns. I got even Stephen King on there. You know why? Because they were older in getting some things accomplished, or if they were in their younger years, it took them a nice amount of time to get what they had to do. And so I have to see other people's stories until I can hang my hook or grab the rope on my own story, and then I don't have to look at other people's. And so I would tell people that if you can't hold on to your own stuff, go get somebody else that's doing what you want to do, accomplishing what you want to accomplish, thinking how you want to think, and go grab them and hold on to that and keep talking about that. Because if you listen to their testimony, the word testimony means to do it again. God will do it again for you.
That's absolutely perfect. The thing, do you notice in your coaching that women mostly have this discrepancy or don't own that they're worth X amount of money?
Yes.
Right. It's
Yes.
like
And we don't go after it. Except for the millennials. I would say my dealings with the millennials, and I got 2 daughters that's millennials, and Lord have mercy. Oh, they go after their stuff now. They have a little bit of a different mindset than those of me that what are we, Gen Y? Gen
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
I'm after the baby boomers. And so, even you, Rochelle, being a baby boomer, we had that. These millennials now, they have a different thing. They're like, my daughter, she don't have a problem whatsoever asking for increase in pay. And I'll be like, oh, can you? And so, yes, I do think that we have a tendency to do that, unless, again, we were mentored or we had a great thought partner, or we had a great coach in our life coaching us otherwise.
Yeah. And the other thing is, this is another really, really powerful question. This is our amazing question, is if you were able to change the world as it is today, what changes would you make and why?
I definitely probably would do something about diversity, and not just diversity of nationalities or ethnic groups, but just diversity, as you said earlier when you all were talking about your challenges in school, is in understanding that all people bring a wealth to the table. So I definitely would change that. It would be no big eyes and little U's. Everybody would understand the value that they have and they bring to the world. Being an educator, I told you this before, this is dear to my heart. When you have a special need, sometimes people have an issue because they think that that's over there. No, that's actually a lot of times a superpower, because again, it gives people the opportunity that you don't let. Most people would let limitations stop them, that they don't let those limitations stop them. And you were talking about that earlier in your story. And so if I could make a change in the world, I definitely would make sure that everybody understands that they have a superpower, that their uniqueness is needed. And then I would make sure that their uniqueness was valued.
Yeah.
I love that. I wish you were my teacher.
I know. Well, she is.
God.
She
is now.
I know, we're each other's teachers.
Yes, and
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
It's so good to hear that, because I think there are so many people that are lost, and they're just, lost and floating. But yet, if they had support and asked for help, and for some reason, people are so afraid to ask for help. It almost feels like it makes them less than,
or weak, or whatever.
Weak.
It's a story too that they
it is
say,
a story,
because they don't know, that they can have a better life, so to speak. And that's why we're all here.
Absolutely.
Sharing, your wisdom. And it kind of leads into this next really awesome question, because it's such a happy thing, is what activities in your life light you up and bring you joy to your heart? That's our last question.
Definitely my family. Family is really important to me. My mother, it was 18 of them. So I grew up with a gigantic family. Like literally years ago, I don't know how many because I haven't counted it, but when my grandmother passed away, and it's been 20 years, I had 50. Do you hear me? 50 first cousins.
Wow.
First cousins. Now, I'm not talking about second cousins and stuff. Like the brothers and sisters, our parents were brothers and sisters. And so we have a huge family. So family just brings me joy. I absolutely adore y'all. Heard y'all said it earlier that husband of mine. Whew,
Yeah.
just spending time with him, spending time with my children, with my grandchildren is so much. And I would probably say the grandbaby. So that
Oh.
was my that's the definitely peg. Those grandbabies move my heart.
Yeah. So, Bridget, how could people get in touch with you?
I am at Brigitte Transforms on all social media platforms, and Brigitte is spelled Brigitte. So really Brigitte, but then I have
Yes,
Brigitte.
I'm glad you said that. Yes,
Because
good.
I've been spelling it wrong
Right.
all this
Yeah,
time.
so it's on the screen right now on my thing. So at Brigitte
love it.
Transforms, and so I have to say that with the asterisk because my mom probably will watch this,
There it is.
and they'll be like, "Your name is Bridget." So my linguistics professor said, "Oh, Brigitte," and I said, "Yes, that is my name." Look, she's
I
like,
love
"That is your name." I went home and told my mom that. She said, "I don't care what that woman said," and I mean, she got it.
I could
But
just see it now, Brigitte in Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, Bridget, I'll do it like that, transforms on all social media platforms. You can get me on my website at bridgetbrownjackson.com. And I have a YouTube page that I have
Woo!
a lot of instructional videos and just some empowering things. And my podcast even goes over there. And that is Brigitte Brown Jackson, my name again. I love to tell people this. So when I go in schools and work with kids, I tell them, I said, Google me. If you Google Brigitte Brown Jackson, I pop up to the top. So
I
people,
love it.
they don't know how to get in touch with me, just Google it.
Oh,
There
look
it
at
is.
that.
There you are. There's Nim. She gave
We
you
got it all
all
there.
Yes.
How you can find Miss Brigitte.
Brigitte. I love it.
So, well, we are so happy that you came and you shared your wisdom and you shared what you're doing in the world because, of course, we know you make a difference.
Oh,
and
yes.
anyone
My
that gets to
God.
work with you gets to have
Is-
that energy
is a
and gets
blessing.
that love and support.
Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
the girl to do it. That's for sure. That is superpower, Bridget.
That
For
is
sure.
You know what? We can't leave without this. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I gotta get.
Okay. So you.
You know what I gotta show the folks.
Oh,
Where is
yes,
ours? Right
right
there.
here. Hope
We have one
Ignited.
right here.
I don't know
Woo!
why it's doing the. I must have something over my thing. But yes, Hope Ignited, you might need to show yours. Hope Ignited, there, yours is clearer. Hope Ignited is a story of hope by women for women. And these two ladies are in that book. So I didn't do my story in the book. I just was the editor for the book, but it's
Yes,
an
you are.
anthology of 12 women, and then the 13th it did the forward. So we have 14 because the two of you did yours together. Your story is phenomenal. Your story is phenomenal. So people need to go and pick up that book, or they need to reach out to you all so they can get their signed autograph copy, because literally your story, I just actually had somebody reach out to me this week, and they were saying about how phenomenal the stories are, but they were really impressed with your story. So I just
I
want to say
love
kudos
that.
to you all about that.
That's nice to hear. We really
And we
appreciate
and
that.
we also have an ebook that we give out
Yes,
for free.
we
A
do.
free ebook.
Yahoo!
Yes.
Mother and daughter relationships.
Yay. And so
So important.
us.
Yep.
And I just want to say thank you to you all for that, because and I hope my mom does watch this later on, because I haven't even had a chance to even share this with my mother. I hear you all in my ear, like when I haven't called her enough or checked back in or stuff like that. You know, Rochelle has really been such a blessing in my life, in being, you know, just how you are with your daughters. And I look up to you, Alicia, and I look at how you do with your mom, and literally it really helps, keeps me grounded. And so you all are part of my North Star when it comes to my relationship with my mother, and then my relationship with my daughters. And so I just want y'all to know how inspirational you have been in my life, and I've been indelibly changed forever. And I appreciate you all.
You know
Thank
what I
Bridget.
just thought?
That was very
We
sweet.
should have you and your daughter on.
Yes, we could do that
Wow.
at some
Yeah.
point.
At
We
some
got to
Absolutely.
point.
get you all on too, because we're getting ready to do some mother-daughter in business together podcast episode.
Oh, you're
So,
kidding.
yeah, so we got to do that with each other. So we'll
Oh,
come
that
on,
would be awesome.
but I got to get you all back on my podcast too as well.
Oh, yeah.
I
That would,
say that part. So everybody that want to reach out, listen to podcasts. I dropped a nugget today. It was a
Oh,
one
good.
today.
that's
I said,
awesome.
get off that wall. Get off that wall.
And how do they get our ebook?
They could put in the comments here. They can,
Okay, they can. Okay.
yeah, put
right,
in
they
the
can
comments
put the
that you want an ebook, and
Yeah,
we'll
and
get
we'll
it,
send
out,
it
to
out
you.
to you.
Put your email in the
Yeah.
comments, and we'll get it to
We'll
you.
send it out. And it's all about relationships. So that's exciting as well. You know,
So-
anything we could do to support people in raising the vibration that this world needs so desperately.
It's all about energy.
Yeah.
Your energy is powerful.
Oh,
Your
she
superpower.
sure is.
You're like a light of diamond.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So we thank you, Bridget. I know your husband is healing, and we
Yes.
send him love, and we know you want to go back and
Yes,
take
and
good care of him.
and she does.
We know that. We bless you.
We love you so much.
Thank your mom for having you in
Yeah.
this world.
Yes, amen, amen. We love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Bye. Love you all too.
Bye
Mwah.
for now.
Bye, loving.
Bye.